What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is of course Sugi here, and today we are going to be diving into the top 5 custom map skins that you can currently use in the Summoner's Rift. Now, if you're new to using custom skins and custom maps, I did do an actual tutorial a few weeks ago, which I'm going to be linking in the corner of this video and also in the description. Now, if you're a bit wary about actually using third-party tools with your main League of Legends account, you can always purchase a Smurf with a very affordable price on sites like 1 vs 9, and you can get even 20% discount using my code SUJO. But let's actually get started out with this amazing top 5 list. At number 5, we have the Winter Rift 2025 edition, and this is a pretty interesting map skin as it has 2 different variations. There is the day variation and then there is the night variation, which you are actually seeing in the screen right now. In a hindsight, I maybe have to argue that the day version is a lot more better than the night one, especially because it's a lot more clearer to read and the visibility just seems a lot more better. Obviously, with the night version, you can always go into the game settings and increase the actual brightness of the game, and maybe it will become a bit more readable. Alongside with actually changing the map into this more wintry style of a look, there's a couple of other adjustments that are actually added in. That includes the snowdown minions, the snowdown turrets, the nexus and the inhibitors are also changed. The map is otherwise basically default. And then there's this rune forged ground on the top side of the map, and then there are some snow particles also added in. So in case you are into these winter festivities, well, this is another mod that you should definitely check out. Then at number 4, we have the actual classic Old Summoner's Rift version 2 Day Edition. So this also comes along with potential different variants that you can download in case you want to relive the nostalgia with an actual spin. And this is a pretty faithful adaptation of the old Summoner's Rift map, in my opinion. Obviously, this isn't the very first one. This is the first time Riot decided to change the map, and it was a pretty drastic overhaul in terms of graphics looking into the very first version, which came out like in 2008 or something. So this one actually looks somewhat dated still, contrasted to the very first map that Riot had. And this also comes in with some other things like old structures. That means the turrets, the inhibitors, the nexus. There's some old particles and effects, especially like the red buff, classic background sound effects, new Baron and Dragon map support has been also added in this alteration, as this has been brought back many times in the past, but there has been a lot of fixes obviously to make it work with the latest patches of the game. And the minimap is also old, and I have to say this old minimap is a lot more clearer than the actual current one that we have. And obviously there are some things like the Scuttle Crab which didn't exist in the old map, so they're basically taken from the current game. And the minions are still the ones that we have on the current day, so these are not the actual OG minions, but there might be some other support mods which are actually able to add those extra minions to your roster in case you really want the full nostalgia experience. Then at number 3, we have the actual Beach Rift variation of the old Summoner's Rift that we just talked about. This is basically the same thing. It has the same turrets, nexus, inhibitors, and the minions on the map as the old Summoner's Rift has, but it obviously comes out with this beach aesthetic. Now, I have to say the idea of it is pretty good. The problem probably lies on the shading, so when you actually look into all the other assets, you don't really see the shadows where the trees and everything, and they kind of look weird with this beach thing. But this is basically the one variation that Riot themselves honestly should have done for, I don't know, for Howling Abyss or some other map that they've been working on throughout the years. But one of the aesthetics that I really like about this one is especially kind of like the buildings and the ruins surrounding the actual bases. So there's a kind of nice aesthetic, especially parts about the river do actually look pretty good. And the sand texture is not really that bad either. But maybe the problem here is with the actual lack of shadows on the sand and these things, which kind of makes it feel like something is really fundamentally missing from actually this map skin, and not enabling the shadows or turning them off is not going to be fixing this sound. Then at number 2, we have a map skin called Rift of the Unbound, which is definitely influenced by the Shadow Isles aesthetic. And what I really like about this skin is that it's a lot more subtle, as it is not changing any of the 3D models in the game. This is a lot more of a correction of the saturation and the hues in the game, so it's going for this lot more grayscale approach. You don't see that much color as you see on the default map. So for example, in the river you see kind of blood red flowing through, and certain pockets of the map also have this green ooze coming out, but everything has been really grayed out, so to speak. And what this really does well for your eyes is actually the visibility and the readability of the game. So if you have really a lot of problem understanding what's going on in the team fights, I think this map really gives you a better understanding of the visibility, not just on the mini map but also in the actual map itself. Also, the monster camps have been adjusted in this skin, and they are a lot more darker colored, and just like a lot more this sort of a darker aesthetic altogether, which really fits into the overall approach that this skin is trying to do. So this is another one that I really recommend for people who have maybe visual problems reading the game, or color blindness or something like that. And then at number 1, of course, we do have the Anima Squad Rift, which probably doesn't come to a surprise anybody watching this video, as this map skin is de facto best ever done in the League of Legends history. And this is obviously a complete overhaul of the visual aesthetic of the game. It is changing the turrets, the nexus, the inhibitors. All the lane minions have completely new models, and even all the monster camps have been changed into new custom models, with even some of them having custom animations. It's a total visual overhaul, which definitely is making the game look a lot more different from the norm. Now, it's also giving out this sort of anime aesthetic meets like Kaiju 8, World Trigger meets League of Legends style of artistic approach, which is pretty banger, especially if you're really into that anime style. Maybe there are some parts which look a lot more lower resolution contrasted to other parts of the map texture, and maybe there could be a bit more shading around the corners of the cliffs and all these walls that are actually around the game. So that was probably the most visible thing that you could see playing on this map that was perhaps lacking. But a lot of the places, whatever it's brushes or something else, most of that does look very natural. So if the shadings were in place, I could even believe this was actually made by Riot themselves. That's how good this is. And it definitely is a lot more brighter in colors also at the same time. The one thing that I would like them to maybe change in the future is actually add a bit of a change into the mini-map also itself, which would reflect a lot more into the look of this map skin. But that basically wraps up my list. As always, if I did miss a very good map on this list, you can leave a comment down below which could have been included. If you want to know how to install these or find the download links, everything will be found in the description down below. Also, check out my other recent League of Legends videos that I produced. And until then, I will be seeing you guys in the next video. Cheers.